Avoiding embarrassment becomes a habit that keeps you wrong forever. Break that habit by embarrassing yourself on purpose. I know that nobody likes being embarrassed. Nobody likes looking like an idiot. Nobody wants to look like a fool. And so as a result, we try to protect ourselves from that by avoiding embarrassment, and we build a habit. It's called an avoidance habit. We're always trying to avoid looking stupid. I totally get it. I feel the same way. And one of the big problems is that social anxiety feeds a fear of looking stupid, which feeds social anxiety, which feeds a fear of looking stupid, which feeds social anxiety, and you get wrapped into this loop. So what I'm doing is intentionally embarrassing. How you guys doing?
Good.
Embarrassing myself on purpose by coming out here to Fort Lauderdale's Riverwalk. And this is somewhere I've tried filming before and got very embarrassed and kind of had to shut it down. And I'm just facing that today. How are you doing? So what I'm going to do is I walk along the Riverwalk here. I'm going to make my way to Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, really South Florida's first building, the first building that was ever erected down here. And I'm going to force myself against everything that's in me to keep talking as I walk past people. What I always do is I shut up when I see somebody approaching me, and I'm always looking over my shoulder. Is anybody coming up behind me? I don't want them to see me talking to my camera. Well, guess what? Yes, I get embarrassed by that. Yes, it makes me feel awkward, and I'm going to embrace that and enforce myself to intentionally embarrass myself by not stopping talking as I walk past people. I want to take a look at this truck, though. This is really sweet. This truck is always parked here at the Riverwalk. I guess the guy lives there or something. So every time I come here, I've seen that awesome four-wheeled old-fashioned Jeep. So as I pass, hey, how are you guys doing? As I pass people, I am forcing myself to, I'm embarrassing myself. And there's actually going to be quite a lot as I go by. Hi, how are you? So I guess I'm just going to have to make eye contact. And I know I did one of these videos at the mall a couple weeks back, and my strategy was don't make eye contact. Well, now I'm going to have to, because there's really not that much room to walk past people on the Riverwalk. So I'm just going to make contact and say hi to people. I'm going to say, hey, how you doing as I go by? How are you? Welcome back to Mission Embarrassment here on the Winning the Week YouTube channel, live stream and podcast. Mission Embarrassment, where I try to intentionally embarrass myself by doing this kind of stuff now in front of people, because I believe it builds immunity and causes you to no longer, well, you become less embarrassable. You become unembarrassable if you do it long enough. That's my goal eventually. See if I get there. But the difficulty is as people walk by, like this fine gentleman here, I just have to keep talking and act like it didn't happen. And now there's some girls coming this way. So a big crowd. How's everybody doing? Don't mind me. I don't know what language that is. This pretty little section of the river here is called Sailboat Bend. There's a sharp curve in the river here as the boats make their way up and down the new river here in Fort Lauderdale. This is called Sailboat Bend. So one of the really big problems with this avoidance, this embarrassment avoidance, is that it convinces you to try to protect your problems and protect your mistakes instead of fixing them and correcting them and admitting when you're wrong. You dig in, and then you don't want to look bad. Nobody wants to look wrong. Nobody wants to look stupid. Remember that scene in Happy Days where Fonzie had to apologize and he said to Richie, I was ruh. I was ruh. He couldn't do it. He couldn't say I was wrong. Remember that? And everybody feels that way. Everybody is avoiding being embarrassed, except me, apparently, who, like an idiot, comes out to the Riverwalk and makes a fool of himself, embarrasses himself in front of a bunch of people talking. One of the things that I'm really struggling to remind myself and try to teach myself is that, I mean, I know this, but I keep forgetting it, is that nobody cares. Nobody's watching. Nobody's paying attention. Everybody's walking around looking down at their own phone. They've got their headsets in, their AirPods, their Beats, and they're listening to their own thing, and they're in their own world. And honestly, nobody cares what you're doing. I said this on a community post a little while back, that don't worry about what other people think. They're too busy in their own world worried about what other people think. And that's the truth. Everybody's focused on themselves. Everybody is the main character in their own story, and they're all just too concerned about what everybody else is doing to be worried about what you're doing. I just have to keep reminding myself that everybody I say hi to just gives me a little head nod and goes back to whatever they were thinking about, whatever they were listening to, whatever they were doing. I'm way too nervous and embarrassed, which is a good thing. I'm trying to be embarrassed. Don't forget, Scott, you're trying to be embarrassed. That's the point. Just a quick reminder to you that I do a live stream every Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here. Lasts about an hour or so. This is pretty cool. Check this out, this Navy monument. Very cool. So don't forget, 8 p.m. Wednesday night, live stream. It's a lot of fun. It's great. And we are nearly, I think we're about halfway to Stranahan House, the first building ever made here in Fort Lauderdale. All right, so here is a challenge for you. Find a time, find a place, find a location where you would normally shut down, introvert yourself, and be quiet, and try to find a way that you can be a little bit more embarrassed. Find a way to embarrass yourself somewhere. I see everybody's got little white earbuds in their ears, so nobody can hear me talking. They're all jamming out. And it can be something very small. For some of you folks, it'll just be making eye contact with somebody at the food court at your mall, or the next time you are walking on your street and you see someone coming. Maybe you never say hi to anybody. Now you can just do one of these. It's very easy. It's very embarrassing if you're not used to it, but I want to encourage you, find a small way. That's your challenge. Find a small way to embarrass yourself just a little bit, because you're going to become more and more immune to it. It's starting to get pretty dark out. The moon's out, sun's down. I think sunset is officially 8:20, something like that. So official sunset, but it's definitely dusk. So it's getting dark. All right, well, I'm well and truly down into the heart of very old Fort Lauderdale. Happen to be some very old buildings. We're not quite to the first ever building yet, but we're getting really close. There's the first schoolhouse, the first hotel. See the historic buildings, read the historical markers. I think there's a gift shop or something inside the old hotel. I forget exactly. You know, some of you folks made a comment on my walking around on the beach video last week, and you said I look very natural, like I'm perfectly natural and comfortable talking in a crowd or a public like that. Nothing could actually be further from the truth. I'm extremely embarrassed and awkward on the inside. Do you remember that song? What was that song? Who's saying I'm so much cooler online? I forget. Yeah, that's me, except the difference is I'm so much cooler on the outside. It's all an act. We're all acting. We're all pretending. And we're definitely in the hip and cool section of very downtown Fort Lauderdale. There goes the water taxi, which runs up and down the New River and up and down the Intercoastal Waterway and take you from bar to restaurant to bar to restaurant to hotel, whatever. And it's free! A bit more crowded as I have to walk through a dining area. The Riverwalk sidewalk goes, gotta watch out for joggers though. Goes right through this dining area. It's kind of funny to be walking underneath all these bridges that cross the river because, well, two reasons. One, I was going to take you underneath the 17th Street Bridge tonight, which is a place I've tried filming twice in the past, and there have been people. And so I left because there's people, which is the opposite of what I'm doing tonight. The other reason is I have to cross over, I think it's that bridge right there, next month because nope, it's this next bridge up here. I have to cross over that next month because I have jury duty. And the courthouse is right on the other side of the bridge. In fact, there's right there, that's the jail where everybody who goes to the courthouse ends up in jail. Got some live music up here. Got a fella playing guitar and singing. Here, I'll show you. All right, well, I've made it navigated through the busy walkway of Fort Lauderdale, and here I am right behind me. Stranahan House. There you go, folks. The first building in Fort Lauderdale. It's kind of funny to see it nestled between these skyscrapers that have crept up alongside it. Yeah, so Frank Stranahan was the first resident here with his wife. She was a school teacher. They had a ferry across this river. And this was their house, the Stranahan House. The house that Frank built. This was kind of a landmark. It's often seen as a symbol of Fort Lauderdale. How you doing, sir? Kind of cool to come down here and see it. Pretty neat. And you get a nice view of the river. All right, well, mission accomplished. We visited the historic Stranahan House. The problem is it's getting pretty dark. It's getting too dark to film on this camera. I'll tell you what's a shame is I have another camera that's much better in low light. I didn't bring it. I should be using that one. But it's a lot more, maybe that's a good way to embarrass myself. It's a lot more obnoxious. Step down here into the light of this massive hotel here. How's it going? And that way you can see me a little bit better. And I'll just say thanks for coming along with me, and just quickly took time to film a short little video to post as a short, asking people to guess where I was. If you missed that, now you already know where I was. You don't have to go to that one and answer it. Don't forget to take the challenge, and I can definitely say that as far as mission embarrassment goes tonight, it's been mission accomplished. I'll see you later. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.